And a very good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be in the world. But if you are watching us live, a very good afternoon from us here in the UK and Islands. I am Tom Mosley, one of your hosts for this easy Level Up Videocast. And I am joined by a different host this week. I am joined by the wonderful Matt Fields.
Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm not too bad. It was this morning when I realised, oh yeah, we've got video casts today, and we've got Hannah's going to be on, and Greg's going to be on, and we've got one of our other guests. And our other guest is the one that stayed true and has actually joined us. And then I remembered that Hannah and Greg are both off today. So it was a very, very quick, like, who's available to talk about Xbox and things and stuff. So yeah, I want to say a big thank you, Matt, for stepping in as the co-host of the stream.
No problem. And as you said before, you drafted me in as soon as you mentioned that we were talking about Xbox. I was like, I'm there.
Let's do Hands up. Let's go. No, that is amazing. But we are live, as I mentioned at the beginning. We are live across a couple of different channels. We are live on YouTube, on Twitch, and on Facebook under the Expert Zone UK and I banner. And we have some people in chat, so a big thank you for joining us and letting us know you're here as well. To Hey DJ over on Twitch, hello to you, sir, with the waving emojis. Michael Chadwick over on the YouTube saying hello to us. Thank you very much. And I always forget I can bring in these comments. I always forget. So Michael Chadwick, thank you very much. Hey DJ, with the waves. That's not what I clicked.
I don't know. That's cool. I like that.
It's a shortcut because obviously in Twitch it automatically changes. But that is Hey DJ waving. And we have Mr. Neil Sousas. And hi guys, thank you very much for joining us. Hope you are well. So Matt, keeping busy, keeping well.
I am. It's been insane. It's been crazy times in the wonderful world of retail and the field team and everything going on. And it's nice to come and talk about things like this that I am passionate about, as you well know.
100%.
And there will be controversy today because I know for 100% somebody's going to say something that I do not agree with, and there's going to be a fight.
So, talking of controversy, Matt, before we get to our next bit, what are we talking about today, and why do you think there's going to be controversy?
Because Thomas Mosley.
I thought you were going to go full name then. I was like, do you know my full name?
Thomas Tobias Mosley.
That's
a guess.
Don't
put that in chat. That's a guess. It's not close. All right, that's a guess. We are going to be talking about the best, in our opinion, the best,
individual opinion as well.
Our individual opinion, the best Xbox game of all time.
What's going to be the GOAT?
What is the GOAT Xbox game up to now of all time? Now, we've had this chat internally before, just on the off chance, on a call, or like somebody's just thrown out there. Some of the answers that have been spouted out have not been correct. Okay. So I'm expecting some controversy today. Peggle 2.
What I'm about to say, we've already got a suggestion in chat with Peggle 2. And to be fair,
great
Peggle,
game.
Great game.
Great game.
I'm not disputing that. It's a fantastic game.
Yeah. Is it the greatest of all time?
To some people, it may be.
Maybe.
Everybody loves a puzzle game. But if you are new to the channel, if it's the first time you are joining us, on every other Monday we do our video cast, which is basically a podcast with video because we wanted to actually be on camera. Where we talk all things video games from Xbox and PC, whether it's specific titles or, as we're talking about today, a more general topic. But yeah, we do this every other Monday with a variety of different topics. So yeah, feel free to subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitch, or give us a like and a follow if you're seeing us on Facebook. Always hugely appreciated. And of course, share around, spread the word, share to your friends and family. Also, always appreciated. But Matt, we have spoken too much already. So I think we should get our other guests involved. And you have free reign here. You can follow on the Hannah Deathridge mantra, or you could introduce them however you would like.
Oh, well, I'm going to follow them. I don't, because obviously I'm stepping in. I don't have the red hair.
You don't?
So, but I do. I can do what she needs me to do. So I will represent while she's not here, and I'm going to go down the same road.
Okay.
So we're going to introduce. Who should we go for first? Let's go for our brand new evangelist.
Okay.
Yeah. So brand new to the team, ladies and gentle peeps. and you're ready for this because I've done what she normally does. Here we go. So please welcome to the stage with a virtual round of applause. I actually have a round of applause button we can use as well. Virtual round of applause. The jolly.
Oh, okay.
The jovial.
Yep.
The joysome.
Yep.
Joseph Shelley.
Here he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Again and again and again.
Wait. Oh, thank you, mate. That was magnificent, Matt.
Ways like that.
That was terrific, Tom. That was terrific. Oh, okay, yeah.
It's too far now, Joe. It's too far.
Can we get rid of him? No.
Yeah. I'll just turn him off. But Joe, I hope you are well. Thank you very much for joining on short notice. As again, you volunteered this morning, as I realised that half the team is off at the moment, whether that be sickness or holiday, whatever it may be. But yeah, thank you very much for stepping in. Michael Chadwick shouting, "Hi, Joe Shells."
Hello, Michael Chadwick.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, cheers for having us, guys. Xbox. I mean, when you said Xbox in game, and I was like, yes. So
I'm there. I'm done. Awesome. Matt, who else do we have as our extra special guest?
It's time to introduce from the field team. Sorry, that's not what Hannah does. I won't do that.
I like it. Own it, mate. Own it.
Okay. So here we go. Please welcome to the virtual stage with a round of applause.
Mm-hmm.
All the way from the field team today, we have the beloved, the beauteously brilliant Benjamin Matthews.
And here he is.
I'm loving the intro and I'm loving the compliments. I don't get them.
There we go, see?
No puns from me, unfortunately. In case any of you don't know me, Benjamin Matthews. I work in the southwest of England, where it is not looking good. It's pretty good. But that's no different to most of the UK, is it really?
I can vouch. I'm about 20 miles from Ben, and it's not nice down here. No.
No, it's pretty grim, but I'm wearing my Xbox hat. I've got an Xbox top on. I'm
on
ready.
Brand.
I look like a suit, and I'm ready for this. So yeah, let's take it away.
Amazing. So obviously, Ben, Matt mentioned that you work for our field team, and obviously you're in the southwest. What is it you do for our field team?
So for the field team, I help go out and store and train a lot of yourselves as the RPs, looking after the elites as well, and making sure that they're as happy as can be, filled with lots and lots of Xbox goodies whenever they get the chance, and make sure that they can not only get as much as they can do out of the role, but make sure they get rewarded as much as they can along the way. So basically just have fun and do our job and learn along the way.
Perfect. Well, I think that's one of the best roundups I've heard. So, Ben, thank you very much. Ben was meant to be on our Christmas special stream that we unfortunately had to cancel. So we had to get Ben back onto a live stream as soon as possible. And yeah, here we are. As Matt said, to talk all the things Xbox. But before we get into that, we have Hannah's favourite part of the show, which is the wonderful
Quick Fire Questions.
Because I'm lazy, and I can't think of 4 quickfire questions off the top of my head like Hannah does. So I spread the love. I share the responsibility. And I've asked all of you guys to think of a quickfire question that you can ask both us as a group, but also chat. So chat, if you are watching and you want to get involved, answer each of these quickfire questions as well, because we want to actually get to know each other. We also want to get to know you guys. Who wants to ask their question first?
I will.
Joe's going to go first.
Straight in.
Straight in there.
Straight in there. So we're going to go in a anti-clockwise from whoever's asking it. It's anti-clockwise from there. So for Joe, it'd be me first, then Matt, and then Ben. No, that's clockwise. Okay. That's clockwise.
No, that is clockwise. So
we're going in clockwise. Yeah. So yeah, we'll go Ben, Matt, me. Shh. Shh. I'd say it's early or late. It's not. It's smack bang in the middle of the day.
I'd like to just say before we carry on, thank you, Michael Chadwick. I will turn up Ben's mic a little bit, see if we can hear him a little bit more. But yeah, okay. Right, Joe, let's do this. Come on.
Okay, right. This is a good one, guys. I'm actually ready for once to ask a good question. So no pressure. So if you could join a dev team, right, for a game, whether it's a small, whether it's indie or whether it's a big style company, where would you see yourself?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a really good question.
I always wished I thought it's a good question.
For once, I have one good. It's my one good question of the year.
You can retire now for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Take the rest of the year off. Who's answering first? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Ben's gonna go first.
Okay.
Tell you what, it's a nice simple one for me, and let's be honest, it's pretty obvious where I'm going to be going with it. 343. Everybody would want to work there. Everybody would want to get involved in the Halo and Master Chief universe. And I feel like I have a few little bits of knowledge and packages I could throw in there and throw their way to help make their games just a little bit better, as good as they already are.
Confidence.
I feel like it's,
confident.
Yeah, I think I've been around the block a few times. My body tells you that I've played a few too many video games. So let me just put it this way. I loved Halo Infinite. I played the pants off the campaign. There is definitely some little tweaks I would have thrown in there just to add a few little extra elements. I think that would have just helped make it that just a little bit better.
Cheers, Mr. Chadwick, for confirming the microphone is all good now.
Lovely.
It's a strong choice. I've got a friend that works for 343 over in the States. And I see his kind of Facebook updates whenever they kind of announce something. And like the lifestyle and the kind of work ecosystem just looks phenomenal over there. So yeah, it's a strong choice, Ben. Strong choice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to change my answer now because I was gonna go.
Oh, okay.
What are you going for then? It is you now, sir.
Okay,
Yeah,
right,
it's you
yeah,
now,
okay.
Matt, yeah.
And I wasn't really going to go for that, but I probably would have just purely because I want to see what goes on in it because it's a again big Halo fan. I don't know.
So you see like both large scale then, yeah, both like large scale kind of.
Yeah, but what I'm going to do, right? So I know Tom will like this. I'm going to go and work with the guys at Remedy.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Because their storytelling is, in my opinion, and this has got nothing to do with the game I'm going to pick today for my choice. It's not at all. But their storytelling is second to none, and I would say it's probably one of the best in the business.
I'd agree with that statement.
Yeah, big titles out there with some really, really intriguing stories and the twists that they do. And I just want to be sat in a table, like a round table with them all, while they're banding the ideas around. Right? And how it goes from, for example, Max Payne, how it goes from this guy who's gone through this to bullet dodge and how that process happens.
That's
right?
a strong choice.
And I want to be part of that process. Things like Control and how who came up with the crazy things that this world does, right? I want
and Quantum Break as well, like with the movie tie-in and the TV show tie-in as well. And
they're constantly just pushing that barrier a little bit more and a little bit more. I want to be part of that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I can bring anything to the table. I just want to be a fly on the wall.
I just want to be part of it.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think for me, I was trying to think independent as well. Like I was trying to broadly trying to think of everything. And there's a couple of devs it's devs and publishers as well. Because I think a lot of the time is you think it's the publisher over the developer and stuff like that of who you want to work with. And there's so many that come to mind, but
like even Tom. So even let me just jump in. So even with kind of I suppose my wording was quite broad, but even I don't know, think of something niche like, do you see yourself as maybe someone getting involved in the art side of things, the story writing, the program? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, go as wild or as wacky as you want with this. Like, where would you feel like, I'd jump on this team, or is there anything?
I think I would love to work for a publisher. Which is called Chucklefish.
Okay.
Yes.
And Chucklefish are the masterminds behind Stardew Valley. Or the masterminds, obviously, that was made by a singular person, but or a small team, I should say now. But Stardew Valley, they helped publish that. They did a couple of other turn-based games that now, for the life of me, the name has literally just gone out of my head, which is really infuriating.
Did they
which was actually available. Maybe
Starbound, I think.
But I think one of the main reasons I'd want to be part of it is I'm really excited for the next iteration from the Stardew team. It's based in a hotel and all of those bits and pieces. Obviously, it's like almost like chocolate factory.
Oh, I'm in. 100%.
So I really want to be part of that, just because there's so many things that I love about kind of Stardew. I want to see where it's going to go and how I can kind of assist that journey. Would be where I would love to go. Neil would actually want to go and join Konami, which is a great shout.
Great shout.
And Chadwick is all just for Microsoft dev team, Surface team, just to be involved in that. It's a great
That's a
company
similar
to work
thing to
for.
what I said. I think the Surface team is because it's innovation with those guys, right?
Yeah,
It's every
100%.
time they've got a new device, it's like, it does what? And then you kind of go, I want to be at that kind of the birth of those kind of ideas. That's what I want. Yeah.
100%. Amazing. So, Joe, as the question giver, you should theoretically have a good answer.
Theoretically, yeah. I would actually like to be part of like a programming team of some degree and like a small indie company. Just because I feel like there's some really strong indie games out at the moment, and yeah, it'd be nice to be able to go like to your mates. Oh look, I've made this little game. You know, it's just, I go play it, and I can give you guys all free copies or something.
You obviously haven't worked in the gaming industry if you're giving out free copies.
We also go bankrupt.
No, it makes sense. I like just the general kind of feel of it. You obviously want to be part of actually building something, which I think is really, really cool.
Free.
Yeah, and free games.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at it. There we go. Look, Popar in the chat. There he is. Free copies.
Popar.
There we go. Nail on the head. Nail on the head. So, Mr. Matthews, what is your question for us and chat?
So, my question's a bit of a controversial one in a certain essence. Is what video gaming system that Xbox have brought out do you think was the most influential to get to the point of which we're at now?
Oh, this is another question. I'm just gonna. Can I have 5 minutes just to rewrite my question?
No, we are on a time limit, Mr. Fields.
Right. Is it me first? Yeah.
It is you first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Most influential to me, or just in general?
Just what you believe is the most influential. So obviously, whether it's your Xbox journey.
It has to be OG, right?
Okay.
Has to be OG. The whole thing, seeing it being sort of unveiled on telly in the events, and being a mild console gamer who dabbled in Master Systems and SNESes and all, like growing up in the console space, right? And then this exciting new product from a company such as Microsoft that had never done anything like this before.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, I want this big box in my room. And then when I opened it, the controller and just having these.
I love the Duke. I love the Duke controller.
But the one thing that was really influential to me is when we used to play on the Sony PlayStation way back when. Obviously, that was in the console space again quite early on. The original controllers had no analog sticks, right? So we were talking about this on the last video cast when we were talking about Rainbow Six. Having to play what I love, first-person shooters, with a controller like that was difficult. I did it, but it was difficult. And then when they introduced analog sticks to consoles such as the Nintendo 64 and things like that, it got a bit better. And PlayStation put them both in the middle.
Yeah.
But I always, because my hands were massive, always felt that my thumbs were clacking against each other and I couldn't quite do it. However, the Duke controller, and I miss it, but I do have the new one, the third-party one that's, it's in a box, never going to get it out, but whatever. But having those sticks staggered, and a big controller, that's what made me fall in love with Xbox. The controller more so than the console, because it just felt comfortable.
Okay. Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like the controller for me was the big winning point for me. Bigger hands, could hold the controller.
Yeah.
I much prefer the original Duke to the slimline version they did.
Yeah.
I'm all for a big chunky controller. And
obviously then I could play, and then obviously Halo Combat Evolved with the controller was the perfect match.
Yeah.
So that's OG day
OG
one.
Xbox.
Yeah.
My job's been made super easy because Sam Jacks, who was joined over from Facebook, thank you very much, sir, has pretty much hit the nail on the head. Exactly what I was going to say. For me, the Xbox 360, as much as I had an OG Xbox, the 360 for me was the time when I really got into gaming, I think, because Xbox Live was kind of a true thing. It was fully implemented. It was all good to go. And just being able to be part of that community of gamers on Xbox 360 for me was amazing. So yeah, for me, to keep it short and sweet, Sam Jacks hit the nail on the head. 360 online community, Xbox Live. That for me was the start, really. So yeah, that's me, Joe.
It's going to sound like a cop out, but my answer was going to be Xbox 360. It was my first Xbox. So unfortunately, I didn't have the original Xbox, but I did have the 360. And to kind of like touch on it more, I think it's the Xbox 360 just seemed a lot more accessible. And I noticed that, at least in my eyes, I don't know if you guys would agree, but it seemed to me to be the first kind of Xbox that brought in everyone from all different backgrounds, and everyone kind of gathered for like so many key like shooting games, for example, exploded on the 360, all different franchises. So yeah, for me, I think the 360 just became this massive kind of like, wow, look at this, like everyone needs to get one of these and get stuck in, you know.
No, definitely. Good shout. Mr. Matthews, once again, as the question giver, you should have a pretty good answer.
So it's going to go full circle here, and you're probably all thinking exactly the same. It is going to be the Xbox 360 on my end as well. Now, the Xbox, exactly like Matt has said, is the great foundation for creating what we have come to and all love now, the Series S and the Series X. And the original was great. The 360 made that leap and that perfection that it needed to help, like you said, draw in all of these communities, bring online to become more accessible, and not only accessible, but easily usable as well. Yeah. And there was a lower price point as well, which meant that it just became sort of like an all-round sort of thing that everybody could get involved with. And it was super fun and easy to use. And let's not forget the original Xbox 360 controller. And that thing, everybody loved that. It was super nice to use, super good feeling. I think people now even still prefer to use those over everything else as well. Yep. You can't blame them. It was compact, tight, and the reaction time on the buttons was absolutely perfect. So it was a great staple, especially then moving forwards, to have all of these great titles being brought in on that console as well to propel going forwards, and that's what made it stand out for me.
Very, very good answer. I like it, Ben. I like it. Michael Chadwick's asking, not so this is a question, but has anyone seen the Forza Horizon 5 jerry can promotional thing that's going around at the moment?
No.
It's literally, after the show, go and give it a look. It looks really, really interesting. And Wookie Webster, thank you very much for joining us. I said it's been a while, but he's here now. Thank you very much for stopping on by, Wookie. Matt.
Yes.
Question.
These guys have some deep questions that were good. Mine's... So picture the scene. We are in a playground. You are playing a game where you have to pick a partner, right? And up against the wall is all the people that you have to pick, right? Yep. And all these people are every protagonist from every Xbox game, including Master Chief, Marcus Phoenix. They're all there. Yeah. Right? You get to pick one person from an Xbox game to be your partner to beat everybody else in the playground games that are going to go ahead. Who do you pick and why?
Whew, that's deep.
You can only have one, and this person's going to help you destroy every... I don't know about... It doesn't matter about the game. It's just, who would you pick to beat everybody else?
I'm going to go a little bit off-piste.
It doesn't have to be the game that you're going to talk about today. If you were to pick one person that you could rely on in any situation, who would it be?
We've got Michael Chadwick saying Lara Croft, Wookie Webster saying Conker.
Good shout.
Sam Jackson, Minecraft Steve.
That's a great one.
Mode.
That is very good because he can just do whatever he wants, right?
Yeah, that's amazing.
I'm going to go a little bit off-piste and go Joanna Dark.
Oh, good shout.
Because obviously she's a spy, she's got all the gadgets, she's got the gunplay. So no, I think no matter what game you could throw at me, I feel like me and Miss Dark could take on the world.
I like that. Also, really good games.
Yes, strong choice.
Yes.
Mr. Shelley.
I'm going to go something a little bit more brutal, and I am going to say Marcus Phoenix, just because
I wonder
He's a leader.
why.
Well, he takes all the aggro. So if it's like, oh, someone's attacking you, like they see him coming with his gun and chainsaw, and they're like, yeah, maybe we'll think about someone else. So yeah, just because it would be good to have as he's a winner, right? He's a winner. So
He's a winner.
He's a winner. Go.
He's a winner.
Done.
He's
You
a
don't
winner.
lose. You don't lose in Gears of War. Like you just keep going. So yeah.
So no matter what game they throw at you, and you get knocked down, you pick yourselves up and you go again.
You go down but not out. Marcus runs over, picks you up.
Yeah,
Yeah, he can. He can pick. Yes, yeah, that's it. Oh,
There we
it's
go.
amazing.
It all links. It all links. Ben, where are you going with it?
I'm going to go a completely weird route in comparison. I'm going to go with 2B from Nier Automata. Mostly because she's got a massive sword.
It's useful.
That could just kill anybody. 2 is even if something happened to her, you can just rebuild her. And 3, she's pretty strong, and I'll just let her do all the work. So it's just a little bit more interesting than me getting involved. So I'll just they can hold big things, they can fly things, they can levitate things without touching them. So if anything, then that's just an instant win, I would say.
Very true. I got Run and Gun Crusader who's coming on Twitch. You don't lose in Gears of War. I'm pretty sure that's all they do. It's the determination. It's the setbacks, but they keep on pushing through. Yeah, we'll go with that. But it's a very good point, Run and Gun. Very good point.
I like that a lot.
Matt, what about yourself?
I thought about this, and obviously I was gonna go for the big guy. I was gonna go Master Chief, and I was gonna say, but then Joe brought this up earlier, and he said something that made me think about it, and I was like, actually, yes, I would take a Big Daddy from Bioshock.
Strong
right?
choice.
Because there is nothing worse than turning a corner and having a little sister holding a Big Daddy's hand in Bioshock, and then you going, so just
Run
imagine,
the other way. Run the other way.
yeah, just imagine in the playground, there's me, tiny little 5-year-old me, and a Big Daddy, right, holding hands, and they were like, do you want to play tag? Do ya?
So the drills start whirring up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I'll stop the competition nice and early and just put that
Cortana or Clippy.
Oh,
Some
That's
iconic. Iconic.
Oh.
Clippy's got the answer to everything.
Yeah, that's it. So it could be a quiz-based game, right? Yeah.
100%. 100%.
So yeah,
I
I just strike fear into them. That's it.
had some
Done.
interesting answers there. Obviously, we had the standard from Joe. Anyway, sorry, I joke. For the matter of time, I'm going to quickly do my question. Really quick round robin. Obviously, we're probably not going to have some time for some explanation here, but really quick round robin of if you could forget any of the Xbox consoles, so you could play them again for the first time and experience it for the first time, which console would it be?
would be 360 for me again.
360.
Just purely because of the online multiplayer aspect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. How about you, Ben?
It's going to be 360, but for a different reason. They did lots of great single-player campaigns on 360 games. So nice, simple, and that stuff I want to forget anyway.
Matt, how about yourself?
Right, I know I said about OG Xbox before, but that was for me and nostalgia and stuff. For graphical jump, and from the point of me going, no, this is a game, and this is what it looks like, and then throughout its life got insane, is the 360.
Okay.
Because when it came out, it was a big jump from the OG, and then by the end of its life, it played games like Grand Theft Auto 5, and they were insane.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting. You've all gone for 360, and I'm actually going backwards. I'm going to OG Xbox.
Okay.
Purely based on the fact that and this is the probably the standard response that everybody thinks of, is I would love to experience Halo Combat Evolved for the first time again. Like, that game made me fall in love with gaming, and then it was the 360 that really brought me into gaming. But yeah, I just to experience some of those first titles, those first exclusives, where it be, as I said, Halo, Forza, some of those exclusives that I remember playing. I'm going to talk about a couple of the ones that I absolutely love in a second. Yeah, for all of those reasons, that's what I would pick.
Yeah, good
That's
shout.
a great shout.
Amazing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been this show's
Quick fire questions.
amazing. Well, dear ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your participation and thinking of questions and all those bits and pieces. And chat, thank you very much for jumping in there as well. And it's great to get to know you guys a little bit better. But to move on into the crux of what we're going to talk about, we've got about half an hour to talk through all these bits and pieces of what we think is the best Xbox game ever. But to lead up to that, I want to go around the room, and I want to obviously I know Joe mentioned earlier that obviously he started with the 360, he didn't have the OG, but I just want a quick round the room of what's your journey with Xbox, like whether it be the consoles that you've played or the games that you've played, and what have you loved about it? What games have you played that have made you love these systems and kind of love Xbox? If that makes sense as a question.
Yes.
You want to start us off then, Matt?
I will start you off. I have been there day one on every console, as best as I can. Obviously, the latest iteration was quite hard to get hold of.
Yep.
But yeah, day one on everything. All the first-person shooters, every single one I can.
Yep.
Things like OG Xbox, as I said, was 100% Halo.
Yep.
Halo 1 and 2. Red Faction 1 and 2, also great first-person shooters. Doom 3, wow. Doom 3, that brought back some memories then.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was all about first-person shooters. And then on the 360, it kind of progressed to some more story-driven stuff. So I started playing things like, do you remember Cameo?
I remember Cameo. Cameo is a great action-adventure game.
So yeah, like action-adventure stuff started to happen then on the 360, but I was still playing your Ghost Recons and all that kind of stuff along the way. And again, Halo, and carried on going. Xbox One, sorry, the very end of 360, and I'm going to talk about my game in a bit, introduced me into some other platforms that I'm not been familiar with.
Okay.
Sorry, other genres that I've not been familiar with, including Diablo 3.
Yep.
Now, Diablo 3 is the only game I have finished on the 360, the Xbox One, and the Series X.
Okay. To be fair, I first experienced Diablo on console.
Yeah, me too.
I've
100%.
never played it on PC, but it's something that I'm definitely going to be doing with the next iteration.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. And now I'm just at where I am. So it's 100% first-person shooters.
Yeah.
But anything with a really cool story and a twist. That's why Remedy, I mentioned before, Control, probably one of my best games, I would say, of the last 10 years. And I'm very excited for the things that they're doing in the future. So yeah, that's me. I've been there from day one, and I've played pretty much everything I can get my hands on.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, and that's the joy of Game Pass as well. Like we've now got Game Pass enabling to experience games that we wouldn't normally have played. So yeah, it's a really good shout. Ben, Joe, anybody want to go next?
Oh yeah, go for it. I'll
go, Ben, go.
It's my original Xbox experience. So I grew up in as a small little wee chubby child. I grew up with PlayStation. It's what my father had when I was younger. That is basically where my life spiraled out of control at the age of 4. And then basically around about, I think I must have been about 8 or 9, a friend of mine was playing Halo, and that's when I first got interested. Me not having much money, couldn't get the original Xbox quite straight away to get involved with the Halo universe, but used to always go over there and was playing it all the time. And then it was about Halo 2 when that came out, and I just thought, scraped all together, all my birthday savings, all my Christmas savings, everything was put together to go and take part and purchase the Xbox, the original, along with Halo 2, which is probably, whilst the greatest experience on the original Xbox, was not good for my social life until I got Xbox Live, and I was one of those ones that was on it right from the get-go, playing it on the OG Halo 2 and really getting involved that way, and it's spiraled out of control from there. Really, it's just been literally anything and everything I can get my grubby little mitts on. The moment it comes up, yeah, I'll order it, come through the post, and now, like you said, with Game Pass, it's really opened up my perspective on lots of indie developers and these smaller games that are definitely created in a more unique and individual sense that you may not even think about twice when you just see it on the front of a box or online. And it gives you a chance to try these things. And I fell in love with so many other games that way. That's mostly it for me.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's awesome. Joe, what about yourself and your journey?
So, like I say, 360 was where like I kind of started, and actually going back just before I went to university, Gears of War was again talking about that. Like, it was a massive one. Like when Gears of War 2 was it? Was that when Horde was on? It was Gears of War 2, wasn't it? Horde mode was introduced. Yeah, I remember doing that when I was at uni with my dorm mates. That was a great way to meet them. I was like, yeah, let's come. Do you want to come around and like do Horde mode and stuff? And yeah, we got absolutely.
Gaming, bringing everyone together.
Yeah, it was, right? And then going further than that, I remember Fable 2. I can't believe nobody's mentioned that. Fable 2, at Christmas time, my brother bought me Fable 2 for Christmas, and that was just epic. Like, I had so much fun with that. And yeah, like even Call of Duty, had Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2 on there on the Xbox. It was just so many good games, but I just once I started, I was like, right, I'm playing everything now. Like a lot like how Ben said.
Yeah, no, that's epic. I think it's really interesting. Like everybody kind of has these specific titles that we've loved, and it's kind of carried us with it. So after we've started on either OG or 360, we found a genre that we've loved, and then as we've kind of moved through the different generations into Xbox One, into Series X and Series S, is that those kind of we found the genre that we love, and we've kind of continued playing those. And I think it's always amazing to go back and play backwards compatible titles, because you've then got that ability to go, this game is still amazing. And either if it doesn't play overly well, it's that nostalgia. I think for me, like the really big one, and I've spoken this about a number of times on Videocast, is around like the Mass Effect. I was used to go back and play Mass Effect as a backwards compatible title, and like it didn't age well. As with the Legendary Edition, obviously it got fully kind of remastered and all those bits and pieces, and I had an absolute blast playing through that. But I think it's the ability to be able to go, you know what, I found my genre, and I found that on Xbox, and I've now moved through the generations and gone through there. Yeah, I had a very kind of similar kind of process and journey as Ben. Started on Sony PlayStation when the original Xbox came out, traded in my PlayStation for the Xbox. And I remember picking up Halo and Jet Set Radio Future.
Great.
Now, for me, Jet Set Radio Future is one of my all-time favorite games, and I haven't played it again since I originally played it on original Xbox. And it's one of those games that always pops back into my head of going, I really hope someone makes a sequel or a really good remaster. I know it's available on PC, but it's one of those games that I go, I just want to experience it again. Anyone remember Brute Force on OG Xbox?
Oh, that sounds very familiar.
Yeah, it's kind of third-person squad-based game, but you've got like your different characters and animals. Like one of your squad mates is like a crocodile that can stand on two legs and stuff like that.
I remember the box art being really like funky with that. It was really cool. Yeah,
that was really cool. KOTOR on the original Xbox as well. Big RPG fan, big BioWare fan.
Big one.
So KOTOR was always going to be up there for me. And then I transitioned into 360. I still remember the day I got my 360. I remember I was still in school, and I asked my mum in the morning. I was like, right, today's the day the 360 comes out. So while I'm at school, can you box up all of my Xbox and put it in a bag? And when you pick me up from school, can we drive to the local store and pick it all up? And the 3 games that I bought on launch of the 360 were Perfect Dark Zero, hence the Joanna Dark reference earlier, NBA Live 06, and Tiger Woods 06. They were my first 3 games. And I remember getting home and going, yes, it's time. I picked up my best friend on the way home. I got there and I was like, unpacking all. And then the doorbell went, and I forgot that I had a home tutor at the time to go through and to help me with maths and English. And I then couldn't play my 360 and had to leave my best friend and my brother playing it for the first time when I was downstairs learning. As important as it was to make sure I got my GCSEs and stuff like that, I still remember that day vividly of going, oh, it's all set up, let's go play, let's chuck this game in, and then the doorbell going and me not being able to play and hearing my brother and my best friend like cheering upstairs, and I was like, no, I just want to go play. So yeah,
that pains me, Tom, to hear that.
it's a horrible thing.
Yes.
Also,
Very emotional.
random shout out. Does anyone remember Doritos Crash Course?
Yes, it was a free-to-play game that was like Total Wipeout.
Yes.
Other games are available. Wow, that was amazing. I loved that.
And yeah, it was a free-to-play Xbox Live arcade title. That, as Matt said, it's very similar to Wipeout, and it was just like rinse and repeat. You competed against your friends to try and get to the end first. Absolutely brilliant. We've got a Condemned was first 360 and Cameo.
I love
by Nil.
I love
Two
Condemned.
really good games, very good games.
Very
there.
scary for a game
Yes.
that wasn't really meant to be that scary.
Wasn't actually meant to be that scary. And my biggest shout out for the 360 days, Alan Wake.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Again, Remedy. You've got my vote.
Very good title. And then obviously transitioned to the previous generation with Xbox One and all those bits and pieces. And obviously we had multiple iterations of the Xbox One, which I know we've all kind of been involved in some way, shape or form. And I think the two most underrated games that released on Xbox one of them was on launch, which was Rise, Son of Rome.
We said this the other day. I agree with you completely. It is such a good game.
If you can, or get a copy of it, go back and play Rise, Son of Rome, because in my opinion, it still holds up today. Very good narrative, reasonably short. It's not going to take you overly long to complete. Had a multiplayer aspect, a kind of a gladiator arena multiplayer. I doubt that's kind of still live, but the story single player is phenomenal.
And it's made by Crytek, right? So I mean,
made by Crytek.
They were. They're on point for their graphics. So it was early on in the really early on in the One life cycle.
It was a launch title.
Yeah, but really, really good graphically.
Yeah. And the final game I want to give a shout out to, which unfortunately released at the wrong time. It released alongside and in amongst two very, very big first-person shooters. And this game didn't get enough credit. And still to my day is one of my favorite first-person shooters. I might have lost my mind on a certain stream when I thought it was a sequel to this.
Oh, I know what it is now, yeah.
And that is Titanfall.
Yeah, very good.
Titanfall is available on Game Pass for EA Play 1 and 2. Phenomenal story, phenomenal multiplayer. Obviously, it's the people that now make Apex with Respawn. Apex wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Titanfall. Go play Titanfall. Absolutely phenomenal game. So yeah, that is my rough journey and me trying to cram as many games in as I possibly can within that to go play this. These are all honorable shout outs before I get to my GOAT game. And it's not the Untitled GOAT game. So yeah, that is kind of me and my journey in the games that I think you should play personally. So yeah, definitely is where I sit with it. You agree?
We should play
disagree?
Titanfall, by the way. We should play Titanfall because I agree with you 100%. Titanfall is very underrated.
I need to play that. Alan Wake, I'll definitely agree because I've played that. And I actually had, my brother bought me, again, funnily enough, bought me the collector's, you remember the
statue?
big...
Yeah.
I think I still have that statue in the loft.
Oh, no, not statue. Oh, no. I've got the actual game that was in like a big book. It was like a
collector's edition. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alan Wake is an author. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, it was like a big book like box. I didn't get a statue though, unless he like sold that or something.
There was a statue version of it as well. You could get a statue
holding a torch, wasn't he?
Holding a torch.
Yeah. Oh, right. No, I didn't get that. Okay, but yeah, that was epic. I agree with Alan Wake.
There we go.
Remedy does like to make
Truly brilliant multiplayer.
unique experiences.
Yeah.
There we go. We have Pope approved. Best game ever made. Titanfall.
Oh dear, Pope.
Hope is spoken.
Controversy afoot.
It is. I fully agree. It's absolutely phenomenal game. So yeah, there are many games that I've mentioned there, but in the last 15 minutes, we have 15 minutes to share our cases of what you believe is the greatest ever game released on Xbox. And this could be, it could have released last week, it could have released 20 years ago. Who wants to go into the controversy fueled debate first?
Easy.
I mean,
Go on, Joe can go first because I know what Joe's going to say.
It's easy. Bioshock. Original Bioshock absolutely nails it. You just can't beat it. Would you kindly agree with me?
It's a very, very good game. I just want to elaborate on Nil's point in chat. It is any game that has been ever playable on Xbox. Doesn't have to be exclusive, just any game that you've ever been able to play on Xbox. Chadwick's going Halo Infinite. So he's gone recent. Halo Infinite, phenomenal title. I'm sure Ben, you'll agree as well with that. But sorry, Joe, continue with the Bioshock.
I was just going to say one thing I did learn, which I was surprised by, and I forgot. I mean, I had the original Steelbook edition as well of Bioshock, which was epic. You know, had an Xbox on the top. I actually completely forgot it was originally Xbox exclusive as well, which blew my mind because obviously later editions have gone to multiple platforms, but original Bioshock just so good. The story is just unbelievable. Without spoilers, twists and turns are unbelievable. There's just so much that it's one of the few games that makes you play it again because of what you learn in the journey of the game, So story-wise, I almost think it's kind of like second to none. Even interactions as well. I mean, it had that dual kind of weaponry system, so you could have a gun in one hand and then powers in another. That's not really a spoiler. You get powers pretty early on. I'm going to say that. Spoilers, you get powers, and it's underwater. But yeah, it's just I feel like they were like, right, how wacky can we go with this? And it actually still worked. It felt fluid. It was easy to pick up. They didn't really need to go into the tutorials much either. Just an amazing game.
I think graphically, I believe Bioshock is up there for me. It's definitely probably my top 10 favorite all-time games. Probably even top 5. I'll give it that much credit for me. I don't know what you guys think about Bioshock.
I'll go second because I agree with Joe.
Okay.
So already we're good. Two of us agree on the same thing. my game of all time. And I let it slip before in the green room. Me and Joe went, pick the same game. Again, same thing. I mentioned it all the way through. Great story, epic twists, brand new mechanics that at the time nobody else had really done properly. No. Set in this really weird, eerie world that was different and new, and then paved the way for other games that were exactly the same, but again, raising the bar and making the twists and turns even better and blah, 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 blah. But so for me, characters, story, first person, and mechanics, and just a very well made game is Bioshock. So yeah, and I've again played it on multiple platforms. So I'm playing it on the move, and it's great game, and I will play it to death forever.
Ben, you seem to want to slightly maybe disagree.
I mean, Bioshock does well on especially producing that grandeur, especially when it came into the Xbox 360 generation. It is an incredible game. I will not deny that. But it doesn't have what, again, like I was saying before, the synonymous joy of the multiplayer that you got along with the Xbox 360. So when it comes to what was the greatest game, it's anything other than Halo Reach is just wrong. Because Halo Reach.
Okay.
All right, hang on a minute. Right, so hear me out. So let's be honest here. So we had Halo 3, which did phenomenally well. We had Halo ODST, which was a great single player campaign and everything like that. Now, what did Reach do?
I agree there. ODST is one of my favorite Halo games.
Yeah. First introduced to Nathan Fillion in the franchise. Very good.
Yeah. But what did Bungie do that as their swan song is they created a great, not as good maybe as ODST campaign with Reach, but when it came to the multiplayer aspect, you had Forge, you had all of these different game type modes like zombies, which were then starting content creators and people alike that were creating their own sorts of variations were then being implemented into these games. So then you had like Grift Ball and everything like that, a red versus blue watcher, say for example. Then you started to have this grandeur and this online experience that just it wasn't just big, it was everything that the Xbox 360 envisaged. And when you had the campaign, that was great as well, and you had all of these extra developments from where Halo was originally and where it is now, or where it was then as well, as they started to bring in like abilities like sprinting and throwing down little bubble shields and everything like that. It became a lot more investable, and I think something that a lot of people loved about that generation of online games is you had challenges, which is just something that was unbelievable. Like some of the challenges on how many kills you got, what kind of kills you got, how you got invested in the game. So every time you picked up that console and that game, you were going for something, and you had something, and you had a great game to play these challenges. And that's, I think, where it differentiates from Bioshock. I think Bioshock, story-wise, when it comes to campaign, it beats Halo Reach out the water. But then you've got this online multiplayer that just sweeps the field.
And there's a lot of stuff, actually, what you've just said. I mean, I don't agree at all. But
here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
There's a lot of stuff that you've just said there that is present today in a lot of games that we play together now. So, for example, Rainbow Six Extraction is all about the challenge mechanic, right? And that's where it's kind of spawned from, that kind of era, right? So, yeah, I can see that, but it's not the best game of all time.
So, Matt, did you agree with Joe and say Bioshock?
Bioshock, 100% is Bioshock. And anybody, I will fight anybody that says different.
To be fair, Matt, to Matt and Joe's credit, my wife will 100% agree with you with Bioshock being one of the greatest games of all time. She is a huge Bioshock fan, and we have many a collectible dotted around the house of all the things Bioshock. And as I said, it's definitely up there. Halo Reach, phenomenal game. I have to say it's not my favorite Halo, but it's still a good game. However, for me, as Matt and Joe have just said about single player titles, I'm an RPG fan. And I've purposely not mentioned this through anything else that I've spoken about, because in my opinion, the greatest game ever released on Xbox is Fable 2.
Yeah. Wow, I wouldn't have.
That's a great shout. Brilliant shout.
I mean,
Brilliant shout.
I would never.
Yeah, thumbs up from me.
I could have put money on you saying like Knights of the Old Republic or something, but not Fable 2.
Like, there are elements of what I love about Fable 2 is that it has learnt from the games before it. You look at your KOTORs, you look at stuff like that, but it has influenced so much moving forward. I think with the fact that it started that kind of proper, in my opinion, like relationship building. Though Neil has said Dead Space. Dead Space is another great title.
Ask me what's number 3 in my list, and I'll say Dead Space.
But Fable 2 brought in family and relationships. You could get married, get divorced, have kids, buy a house, all of that sort of stuff. And the way that, like you see in Skyrim now, like you had to originally mod Skyrim, and then they obviously released an expansion to be able to do it. That was in that game. As much as this happened in KOTOR, you kind of really saw the development of character morphing. And obviously had it in the original Fable as well. Obviously you turn evil, you grow horns, you have flies around you to go into. Then obviously you're being good, you have a halo and wings and all of that sort of stuff. But I feel that Halo 2, this is one of the pinnacle reasons why I think it was phenomenal, is I personally think Fable 2 was the original game that really introduced side quests.
Yeah.
And additional activities, and that was in the form of jobs and stuff like that. I know games have always got
of your actions as well.
Yeah.
I was just about to jump in and say, actually, Tom, to go back slightly what you were saying, I think Matt's kind of nailed it there with the consequences side of thing. I want to say, and do you agree that it was probably one of the first games to kind of really say, if you do this, you're going to go down this. Yeah, this is what could happen. And it was one of the first few games that made you really stop and go, oh, actually, do I want to do this? Like, I'm worried this might happen. And
but yeah, for that reason, I know we could probably all go on for another couple of hours about why our games are the greatest of all time. Michael Chadwick's agreeing with me. Obviously, Neil's saying that he's sad that no one said Dead Space. Once again, it's in my top 10.
Yeah, me too. 100%. And remasters in the pipeline.
In pipeline, I will 100% be playing that. Though, funny enough, I've played Dead Space 1, 2, and 3. I have never completed Dead Space 1 because it freaked me out too much when it got to like chapter 11, chapter 12. When the really fast alien zombie creatures started happening, I stopped playing it because I was literally too scared to play it.
My wife thinks I'm weird because, again, we're saying about collectibles. I showed Joe a couple of them earlier, but I've got collectibles of the Bioshock, but I've got even more of Dead Space. And obviously, the necromorph zombies in there are freaky. They are horrible. And I've got them all, like my little 5-year-olds coming around, with like playing with them. I'm like, no, don't play with them.
They are for display purposes only.
And she's like, it's like with Barbie, you know, and other dolls are available, you know, kind of like playing together. And I'm like, no, that's not what they're for.
100%. And also with Fable 2, because I'm not going to stop tweaking about it because I've got 4 minutes left. We have 4 minutes left. Is drop in, drop out co-op play in a predominantly single player RPG. You generally don't see that in RPGs nowadays.
Still to this day, yeah.
You generally don't see it. Obviously, we have open world games, we've got MMOs and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, for an RPG that's predominantly single player, they generally keep it to that. And I like the fact that you could be a co-op partner and you could go and earn money and you could share your money or split your money or whatever it may be. Yeah, that is all I will say about Fable 2. If anybody would like to spend the next couple of minutes talking about what they love about their games as well.
Characters.
Honorable mention.
Shut up, Mike.
No, Ben, go.
Ben, go for it.
I'll put you. Honorable mention. Nobody said Portal 2.
Well.
Great game.
Well, number two. And I'll honor. Right, me and you are friends again now. I will honorable mention this.
Right,
the orange box for 360.
Brilliant.
Not only introduced me into the Half-Life franchise for the first time. Again, like I said with the Diablo thing. So I've gone back and become a PC gamer because of that.
Yep.
Playing Half-Life and Half-Life Alyx, which we were talking about the other day, all that kind of stuff. But Portal and Portal 2 were, again, great story, first-person games that broke the boundaries and pushed the bar to what you could do and play in a first-person shoot. Not really a shooter, but a first-person game, right?
Yeah.
And I agree with you. Portal and the characters in that definitely needs a shout.
Spoos.
And the co-op afterwards as well was awesome.
Yeah, really
There's
good.
no better way to hate your own friends. But,
I think
Put it there.
I think honestly, if anybody thinks, any gamer goes, what is the best co-op game out there? I reckon 90% of people will instantly think Portal or Portal 2.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah.
And I think it's the first thing that comes into people's minds. And for that, I think it is brilliant. So, yeah, I'd agree. Honorable mention, Portal's there. I think we've all mentioned games that we all really enjoy. So I think that's kind of good. Like, obviously a little bit of controversy about what's the number one spot. We're always going to have that. Everybody is different. Every gamer is different. We all have our own tastes.
But we all know Bioshock's number one, yeah. So.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at Ben's reaction.
United front here, Joe. United front.
Yeah, come on, stand firm.
I would like to say that I'm surprised that nobody's brought up in chat or here as well, because we've had this chat as well, Tom, before.
Peggle 2.
Peggle 2. Yeah.
I don't agree, Peggle 2. Yeah.
Nobody's brought up The Witcher or The Witcher 3.
Great, once again, great games.
Yeah. Like, we've spoken about this before, and I think it's Adam on the team. It's his game of all time, and we've had argument a little bit like we're doing now. And I'm like, there's so many better games out there. It's good. Yeah. It's really good.
I look at Witcher and I go, that was influenced from Fable. Like,
yes. I think that's where I must have it, Tom, because I controversially on previous streams have said that I have played Witcher 3 only for a few hours, and I haven't gone back.
I mean, that's a shame.
I don't know. Is it crazy that it felt too complicated? Hour, It was too tough for me. Yeah, I know. We could go on. I was going to say it was really tough for me to get into the combat system. But yeah, is there another time maybe? But
it is definitely on for another time. We can have a full RPG video cast when we can talk all about. We'll talk all about that. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is where we have we're gonna hit the stop button on our talk. It will probably continue in the green room, but
Peggle,
we're all going to talk about how good Peggle 2 is, 100%.
Hey.
But yeah, I want to say a big thank you to Ben for joining us over from the field team. Thank you very much for stepping in and being part of this. To Joe and to Matt for stepping in very last minute to be part of this. Thank you very much. And thank you to everybody in chat who has joined for the conversation, which has been a little bit of a controversial conversation. Obviously, we're never all going to agree, apart from Matt and Joe on Bioshock.
Bioshock.
Yes.
It's Bioshock. Nothing
yeah.
else. Bioshock.
A huge thank you to everybody that has joined in for the chat. I hope you've enjoyed it. We do a video cast every other Monday, so it won't be next week, but it will be the week after again there. But we also stream our Easy Live and Easy Level Up streams. Easy Live all around the Microsoft ecosystem, top tips, tricks, all of those bits and pieces, new announcements, new products, which we always stream on Facebook on a Tuesday. And then our Level Up stream, where we are doing our Season 13 at the moment, where we are playing through the entirety of the Halo Infinite campaign. And everybody's jumping in and doing all those bits and pieces. And if you're one of our verified users on Expert Zone, there's a huge giveaway, all Halo Infinite themed. So you make sure you tune into those streams on Tuesday and Wednesday this week. It's been a great time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining. I will leave you to the rest of your day. I hope you have a good time, and I will see you all on the next stream. Cheers, guys. Bye.